Hello everybody. So right now is time for our read aloud. And we are going to read the second part of The Tiny Seed by Eric Hall. So let's see where we left off. Well, this is where we last left off. And if you can recall, our story is about a bunch of seeds that were sitting inside of a sunflower. And they go on a long journey when a big gust of wind comes and blows them off. They finally landed, and now it is winter time. Oh no, one of those seeds were eaten up by that mouse. What season do you think comes after winter? Let's see. If you said spring, you're correct. So let's see where our seeds are going to land up this time, or what's going to happen to them. Now it is spring. After a few months, the snow has melted. It's really spring. Birds fly by. The sun rises, rain falls, seeds grow round and full and start to burst open a little. Hey, wait a minute. Look what happened to those seeds. What do you think happened to them? That's right, they became plants. The seeds are now plants. How nice. Look at that. They all have leaves. Some of the seeds look a little different. So some of the plants look a little different. The plants first send roots down to the earth. Their little stems and leaves began to grow upwards towards the sun and air. There's another plant that grows much faster than the new little plants. That is a big fat weed. It takes the sunlight and rain away from one of the smaller new plants. That little plant dies. The tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. Will it be too late? Hurry. But finally it starts to grow into a plant. So what else do plants need to grow? Let's see. Plants need, that's right, they need sun. What is another one? Remember there's three. They need, what's that coming down? Rain. And what else do they need? Can't see it, but it's all around us. Air. So there you go. The tiny seed is finally sprouting. There's the other seeds. They grew into big plants already, but here's the tiny seed finally growing into a little plant. Oh no. Look at this one. The warm weather brings the children out to play. They have been waiting for the sun and springtime. One child doesn't see the plants as he runs along, and oh, he breaks one. Now it can't grow anymore. One of the plants is broken by a child's foot as they're running through outside. But here's one that's still good. This plant is fine. And there's the tiny seed plant. Ah. The tiny plant that grew from a tiny seed is growing fast, but its neighbor grows even faster. Before the tiny plant has 3 leaves, the other plant has 7. And look, a bud, and now even a flower. Look at that. But what's happening? First there are footsteps, then a shadow looms over them. A hand reaches down and breaks off the flower. Well, there goes that one. But there's our tiny seed plant still hanging around. What a nice picture. A boy has picked a flower to give a friend. What a nice gift. What's the season that comes after spring? Do you know? When we started this book, we started with the season of fall. Then it went into winter. Then it went into spring. What's the next season after spring? Does anyone know? There are 4 seasons. If you said summer, you're correct. Now it's summertime. It's summer. Now the tiny plant from the seeds is all alone. It grows on and on. It doesn't stop. The sun shines on it. The rain waters it. It has many leaves. It grows taller and taller and taller than the people. It's taller than the trees, taller than the houses. Now it grows on and on. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It is the tallest flower they've ever seen. It's a giant flower. Now, in real life, can flowers grow that tall? No, they can't grow that tall in real life. This is a made-up story. So, but in this made-up story, look at how big that tiny seed grew. Oh my goodness, so tall that the people are looking at it in amazement. All summer long, the birds and bees and butterflies come visiting. They've never seen such a big, beautiful flower. Wow, that tiny seed grew into a big, beautiful flower. What kind of flower does that look like to you? Almost like a sunflower, right? What's happening here? And what season is happening in this picture too? Look at all these trees. Look at all those leaves on the trees. What season do you think comes after summer? We would say it's like a cycle, right? A cycle is something that repeats itself. So this book started in the fall, right? And then from the fall it went to the winter. Then from the winter it went to the spring. Then from the spring it went to the summer. And now it's back to what season? That's right, fall. Because look, in the fall the leaves turn colors. And they fall off the trees. That's how it gets its name. Now it's autumn again. And remember, autumn is another word for fall. The days grow shorter. The nights grow colder. And the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower. Some petals drop from the giant flower, and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land down to the ground. Wait a minute. What is coming out from that giant flower? What are those things? What do you think all this is? Let's find out. Let's see if you're right. Let's see if your guess is right. The wind blows harder. The flower has lost almost all of its petals. It sways and bends from the wind. But the wind grows stronger and shakes the flower. Once more, the wind shakes the flower. And this time, the flower's seed pod opens. And many tiny seeds that quickly sail away onto the wind. Look at that. Just like at the beginning of the story, where a lot of seeds were sailing into the wind, it's happening again, isn't it? We call that a cycle, a plant cycle. We had the cycle of the seasons and then the cycle of a plant. And so, maybe one of those seeds that blew from the flower will also be another little tiny seed that gets grown into another flower. And so the cycle starts again. So there it is, The Tiny Seed by Eric Hall. If you would like to, you can draw a picture of what you saw in this book, how our tiny seed grew and what happened, and send it to Remind so that we can share it with others. Okay, hope you enjoyed the story, and you have a good day. See you until the next video.